guys, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. The holiday season is here and you might be wanting to make delicious cookies to give out to your friends and family or to put them on a holiday table if you're having guests over to celebrate. These are delicious, they're buttery, they're so good, and they're so simple to make. And then you can decorate them and make them as pretty or as simple as you want. Let's get started. So I'm using my tabletop mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. You could also do this with a hand mixer, with an electric mixer too. I have 3 sticks of unsalted butter that are really soft and at room temperature. That part is super important because these cookies are going to be piped with a bag, and if the butter is hard, the dough is going to be hard and it's going to be very hard to pipe out. So make sure that the butter is nice and soft and that it's unsalted. To that, I'm going to add a cup of granulated sugar and 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That sounds like a lot, but you want them to have lots of flavor, and this makes lots of cookies. Now you could add the salt to this. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt that I have with the flour mixture, but I already put it in here, but you can definitely put it in with the butter mixture as well. Mix this on high speed first, obviously starting at low so it doesn't fly everywhere, until it's nice and fluffy. Now I'm going to add 2 eggs. You want the eggs to also be at room temperature. If you forgot to take them out an hour or 2 earlier, you can keep changing out warm water in a bowl, and that'll bring the eggs to room temperature. That's a nice trick. Add 1 at a time. Make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl to get everything incorporated evenly. Now in this bowl over here, I have the dry ingredients. So we have 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. Just go ahead and mix everything all together. And then add it to the mixer in 2 to 3 batches, mixing just until it's all incorporated. Do not overmix. And that's it. You're going to be left with a very sticky dough that's nice and soft, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Again, go in with a spatula one final time just to mix everything that might be stuck to the bottom so everything is nice and even. And then for this, it's a good idea to have a pastry bag with a star attachment. This is the Wilton 1M. But anything that has an open star, any tip that's big and has a big open star is going to work perfect for this. I'll put links to these on the blog post. Now I'm going to take some of the batter. You don't want to overfill the bag. Just fill it a little bit less than halfway. That's going to be perfect, so that way it's easy to handle. So you're going to want to have a few baking trays ready that are lined with parchment paper. And you can do a few different things with this. You can pipe long cookies like this. So we'll do a tray of long cookies, and you could also do little round ones that are going to look like rosettes, so we'll do those next. Just try to make sure to keep them all the same length, and it's going to be easy to work with if you have the bag very tight and you hold it from the back as if you're holding a tennis ball, and you can apply pressure from the top. That's going to be very easy to do it that way. You can make them all long like that, or you can make little round rosettes like this. You start in the center and then you go all around, and you can make them as big or as small as you like. This is totally a matter of preference. These cookies do look really cute when they're smaller though, so this is probably as big as you want to go. And if you want to make them even smaller, little bite-sized Italian butter cookies, you could pipe out little stars like that. So once the bag is empty, go ahead and refill it. Do not be tempted to fill the bag too much to get it all over with at one time, because the second time you fill the bag, the dough is going to have hardened just a little bit more. And if you overfill it, it's going to be so hard to pipe these out of the bag. We used to make thousands of these when we had the bakery, and our hands have gotten super tired making these, so I'm passing along all the tricks and the tips to you so that way you don't have to get tired. There might be little machines that you can get to help you pipe these out. I've never tried them. If you have, leave me a comment down below which one is good that does the work for you. I mean, I'd love to try it out and maybe help out the rest of the viewers on here too. So I'm going to continue piping out these cookies, and then you want to make sure that the oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to bake the trays. You can bake them 2 at a time. Just make sure that you alternate them halfway through baking so that way they bake evenly. If your oven doesn't have a convection fan, mine doesn't. And then they should take about between 10 to 15 minutes depending on your oven. You're looking for them to become very lightly golden all around. Once they come out of the oven, you're going to want to let them cool completely. After about 2-3 minutes while they're sitting on the counter, just go and loosen them off of the parchment paper. That's going to help them cool without getting a little bit soggy on the bottom. And then once they're cooled all the way through, we're going to decorate them. The cookies are out of the oven and they're nice and cool, ready to be decorated. So you want to keep in mind that the first batch that goes in the oven is going to probably bake faster than the second batch because you're going to be opening and closing the oven, the temperature drops. So the first batch took about 15 minutes to be ready, and you're looking for it to be golden around the edges and still slightly pale on the top. If you like them a little bit more cooked, you can definitely bake them until they're golden all around. You're the boss of your kitchen and you should make them exactly how you like them. The second batch did take almost 20 minutes to make. So keep an eye on them. You're looking for color. Make sure they cool completely if you are going to decorate them, because if they're still warm when you're going to be putting chocolate or jam in between, they're going to start to fall apart or separate and get all dirty basically, and you want them to look as pretty as possible. Now, I'm using white chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate, jam, and some rainbow sprinkles. Those are some of my favorite toppings. You can do sliced almonds also. You can do coconut. There are so many options. I'm using raspberry jam because that's very traditional, but feel free to use your favorite jam in between. Seedless raspberry jam is recommended if you can get it. If not, use whatever you have. Keep in mind that if you're melting chocolate and if you're using chocolate chips, it is going to be very thick. So what you want to do to thin it out a little bit, you don't want to keep warming it where it burns, because sometimes what people like to do when they're melting chocolate, they think the warmer they get it, the thinner it's going to become. And that's really not the case. Chocolate chips have stabilizers in them, and they do melt much thicker than a regular, like a chocolate baking bar would. So use a baking bar if you can. When we had the bakery, we would order these ginormous blocks of Belgian chocolate. That's the best chocolate I've ever had. It's kind of hard to find in the supermarket, so I just go with whatever's easy. And once the chocolate is all melted, I like to add about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. You could use a light olive oil or anything that doesn't have much flavor. That's going to thin it out, and it's also going to add some gloss to it. Do not keep warming it, because if you keep warming it and get it at a high temperature, it's going to burn. And once chocolate burns, it's over. It's garbage. It's going to start to separate, and it's going to be a mess. So just keep that in mind. Let's start decorating. So I'm going to start with these long cookies first, and you can fill them with jam or with chocolate. And a good thing to do is to transfer the semi-sweet chocolate, or some of it, and the jam in 2 separate little bags. I don't have any right now, so I'm just going to very carefully do this with the spoon and hope I don't get them too dirty. You don't want to get them all over the cookie, just down the center like this. And you want to do just one side, because the other side is going to be the top, so you don't want to have too much. And then just put the tops on, or the back side. See, I put too much jam on some of them, so just be careful, because adding too much jam will make them slip. So you want them to kind of stay together. Eventually they will stick together, so don't worry. So let's get one more with jam. Just like that. We'll leave these on the side for now. We're going to dip them in just a few minutes. And let's get a few more, and we'll do these with chocolate. So be very careful with the chocolate if it's not in a bag, because it can get messy really quickly. So we're going to do the same thing. Put some chocolate down the center. It would be a good idea to keep a towel nearby so you can keep your fingers clean. And let's get the tops on these as well. Okay, and you could do the same thing with these little ones. You could leave them as is, or with the little ones, what you can do, you can keep them single and just dip them halfway through in some chocolate and try to get some of the excess chocolate out. And they look beautiful just like this, but if you want to make them a little more festive, go ahead and dip them in the sprinkles. Look at how cute that looks. You can do almonds instead of the sprinkles if you want something a little bit more grown up. So once you're done filling your cookies with either the jam or the chocolate or both, a good thing to do is to chill them in the freezer for about 10 minutes. That's going to help them set, and it's going to keep them together. It's going to make it so much easier to dip and decorate. Now, of course, you can leave them just the way they are and not decorate them at all. They're going to be delicious butter cookies, perfect for tea or coffee, but if you are going through the trouble of decorating them, go ahead and pop them in the freezer for a few minutes. It is going to be much easier. I'm just going to skip that step for now so I don't have to re-warm up my chocolate, because as the chocolate sits, it does start to cool. Now, one of my favorite combinations with the raspberry jam is raspberry and white chocolate. So the ones that are filled with raspberry, I'm going to dip them in this melted white chocolate, and I dip the tops. Look at how pretty that looks. This is my favorite. And then you just want to put them on a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper, so that way they can cool and the chocolate can set. Now, of course, you can do raspberry with semi-sweet chocolate, because that's a really good combination as well. You can do this in so many different ways. It's totally up to you. But at the bakery, we always kept the raspberry with the white chocolate, and we didn't put anything else on top. That cookie is so delicious once the chocolate sets. You get the buttery cookie with a little hint of raspberry inside, and then that sweet and creamy white chocolate. It's perfection. So the white chocolate ones are done for now. And the ones that have chocolate inside, I'm going to dip them in some more chocolate. And then I'm going to get them in these sprinkles. Okay. So chocolate and sliced almonds is a really nice combination too. Chocolate and coconut, if you have some shredded sweetened coconut, that is a really nice combination too. You can really do this in any way you want. So I'm going to set these aside. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes for the chocolate to set. If you want to set it a little bit faster, pop it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and they're going to be ready to eat. I'm going to continue decorating the rest of the cookies, and then we're going to have a little bite. So the cookies have set and they're ready to be served. You can put these in little boxes and give them out as gifts. Make them for a holiday party. Put these out with some coffee and tea on the table, and they will make the perfect dessert. Get the kids involved in decorating them. This is a lot of fun to do. Make some Greek coffee, and it's time for the taste test. So I'm going to taste my favorite one. I have this little one right here, dipped in white chocolate filled with raspberry jam. You're going to have to come over here and get these away from me because I can eat all of them. They are so delicious, so light and crumbly. They're perfectly sweetened. The combination of raspberry with white chocolate is amazing. Time to have a little sip of coffee. Perfection. I'm going to go and enjoy these little cookies with my cup of coffee. You guys head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Print this out. I'm going to put any tips that I might have forgotten on the blog post. Post your questions down below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.